jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shuttashmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hey, it's not going live. Shoot. Is it going live? Anyhow, I'm just going to continue Jadvani. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shuttashmad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shuttashmad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shuttashmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Shard Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Surup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समाग जय श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर भजन रहस्य की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। श्रीसिद्धान्तसरस्वतीति विदितो कोटियगुर्वन्वये भातो भानुरिव प्रभातगगने योगोरसङ्कीर्तनाय मायावारतमिङ्गिलोदरगतान् उद्धृत्य जीवानिमान् कृष्णप्रेमसुधाब्धिगाहनसुखं ब्रादात् प्रभुं तं भजे। वन्दे भक्तिविनोदं श्रीगौरशक्तिस्वरूपकं भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञसम्राजं राधारससुधानिधिं नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगपरायते श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वृषभानुसुतान्वितवामतनुं यमुनातटनागरनन्दसुतं मुरलीकलगीतविनोरपरं भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुं स्मर गौरगदाधरकेलिकलं भवगौरगदाधरपक्षचर शृणु गौरगदाधरचारुकथं Bhaj Godruma Kanana Kunja Vidun. Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina. Iti vigyaya devi tvang nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay. Kshiptascha kama ditaranga madhye. Kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna. Vrinde namaste charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Saruparaya Sangha Harsha Shesha Ghoshanam Shikshanashtakakya Krishna Kirtanaika Poshanam Prema Nama Matra Vishva Jivanaika Sambarang Prema Dama Devam Eva Naumi Gaura Sundaram Premor Bhavita Harsharyod Vega Danyarti Mishritam Lapitangorachandrasya Bhagyavadbhirnishevyate. Prabhur Shikshashtak Shlok Jai Pore Shune Krishne Prem Bhakti Tar Bare Dine Dine Shikshashtaka Chinta Koro Smarana Kirtan Krame Ashtakala Seva Habe Uddipan Sakala Anartha Jave Pave Prem Dhan Chaturvarga Falgu Pray Habe Adarshan. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranams, Champak ji, and all devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook. Mm, a hotspot, it's not letting me see the comments, unfortunately. So I can't see if there's anybody who's watching on Facebook, but on my phone, I can see here on YouTube, I see Bilba Mangal Prabhu and also Shama Didi, if she's there listening also. And whoever else is there, Rasay Shri Mataji and Dira Mataji, um, yeah, any other devotees, Krishna Mai Didi, Vidyalalasa Didi, Ganga Mataji. Pranams, and also pranams to all devotees watching in the future, like Jayade Prabhu, um, sorry, my Jayade Prabhu, Shachi Devi, Revati Didi, um, and Krishna Rose, and Manjari Didi, Dandavat Pranams. All right, so today's another day I had a bad night, so a bit spaced out. But anyhow, we'll just get through it. And tomorrow will be tomorrow I have a train to Vrindavan, but I think I'll still be able to do the morning reading. Yeah. So just the day after tomorrow, I'll be on the train still, and so we won't be doing a reading then. So we are continuing, going through the second verse of Shikshashtak and this second chapter of Bhajana-rahasya, which is all based on this second verse of Shikshashtak. And yeah, right now I've just been all over the place, so I haven't been able to, all the things that I was unsure about when I read yesterday, still unsure about it because I never got a chance to look anything up. Yeah. And one day I hope I can learn Sanskrit and Bengali better and all that, and then I'd be able to explain everything. Right now, this is just like I'm guessing everywhere. So, or a lot of places, not everywhere, but a lot of places. Okay. So there's no consideration. This is the Dvitīya-yāma-sādhana, the second yam of the day. There's 8 yam. The day is divided into 8 yams, and this is the second yam. which is from 6 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. It's called Prata Kal, the time of early morning. And this time of the day represents anartha nivritti in sadhu sangha. So one's cessation of anarthas in sadhu sangha. So the verse for this from Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka is Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smarane Nakala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishamiha Janina Nuraga. Akari, you have made, or you've manifested. Bahuda, many namnam, many names. And tatra, there in those names, arpita, you have placed nija sarva shaktis, you have placed all your own potencies. And smarane, in remembering these names, na niyamita, there is no rules or restrictions regarding the time when they may be chanted. Kala can be chanted at any time, any circumstance, any situation, any condition. Etadrishi tava kripa. Such is your mercy. Tava kripa, your mercy. Etadrishi tava kripa. Such is your mercy, O Bhagavan. However, mama, my durdaivam, my misfortune, idrisham, is such that iha, hearing these names, no anurag, na anuraga, no anurag, no spontaneous attachment, affection. It was awakened. Ajani means awakened or born, like that. Ajani and akari, both past tense. Or I don't know what the technical term is in Sanskrit, but yeah, they're both. This is so manifested, or it was awakened or born. So then, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains, through 4 verses, he explains each one of these items, which we've been over so many times, so I'm not going to go over it again. And then the last verse, he talks about what is durdaivam, what is our misfortune. And so he quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam. See, because in the verse of Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka, it says, my misfortune is such that I have no anurag is awakened within me for these names. So what is this misfortune and how did I get it? That's answered now. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, gives this verse. I'm not going to go through the Sanskrit again. We've been through the Sanskrit many times now. But those persons who refrain from the hearing and chanting of your glories, which destroys all misfortune, and instead always engage in inauspicious activities, being obsessed with the desire for a particle of material sense enjoyment, are certainly wretched, for fate has stolen away their intelligence. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes this Sanskrit prayer, he makes it personal. And he says, Tomar prasanga sarva ashubha koroye karva. All these narrations about you, prasanga means narrations, tomar, your narrations, sarva, all ashubha, it koroye karva. So karva koroye means it destroys, sarva ashubha, all inauspiciousness. But prabhave, by the influence of durdaiva, of my misfortune, morman, my mind, being in hopes of just a fraction, a lesh means a fraction of kamsuk, of sensual pleasure. This greed, lobe. And so my mind has this hope for just a fraction of sensual pleasure. And I'm greedy for that. And I'm not making ayas means endeavor or exerting myself. I exert myself in all sorts of akushala, all sorts of inauspicious acts, or just in hopes of just a fraction of sensual pleasure. And even though, O Bhagavan, even though these topics about you, this harikatha, destroys all Ashubha koroye karva. Still, She Prasange, in these narrations, na koilo jatana. I've not made any endeavor. I've not carefully applied myself when harikatha is being spoken. I haven't made any efforts in following those narrations. So that is my durdaiva. That is my great misfortune. Now, why do we have this misfortune? Why is it so difficult to really apply ourselves to harikatha, the chanting harinam? What's this durdaiva? What is this misfortune? Why do I have it? So that's answered in this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, verses 4 to 6. So Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranihite Male Apashyat Purushang Purnam Mayam Chatar Apashayam Yaya Samohito Jiva Atmanam Trigunatmakam Paropi Manute Naratham Tatkritam Chavipadyate Anarthapashamam Shakshar Bhakti Yoga Madhokshaje Lokasya Janato Vedvangsh Chakre Satatam Singhitam. I'm not going to go through the Sanskrit again because we've been through it a lot, many times, I mean. So, but we'll just read the translation. With a pure heart, Sri Krishna Dvaipa and Vedvyas became absorbed in meditation through the process of bhakti yoga. He thus saw the Supreme Person Sri Krishna, along with his external potency, Maya, which is far away from him, but under his control. Due to this Maya, the conditioned living entity, the Baddha Jivas, forgets his service to Krishna and becomes affected by anarthas. Although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, the living entity who is bewildered by Maya considers himself a material product. He thus identifies with himself with this body and considers that which is related to it to be his. The infinitesimal living entity can only be delivered by Krishna Bhakti Yoga. But the mass of people in this material world are ignorant of this fact. Understanding this, Sri Vyasadeva manifested Bhagavatam through Bhakti Yoga. So then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, okay, so the three tattvas is Krishna, Krishna's Maya, and the Jiva. And the Jiva has these the Jiva being bewildered by Maya and bound by Maya, Maya Mohe, Maya Baddha, Jiver Anartha. The Jiva has these anarthas. So the Jiva, who is a chit karna, that means an atomic particle of consciousness, to the strength of his Krishna Bhakti Yoga, these anarthas, anartha vinashtahoy, these anarthas are destroyed. And Krishna Prem fruits. Yeah, fruits. Phale means is a verb. Means phal means fruit. Phale means it fruits or fructifies. So a tattva, this truth, nam samadhite pailo vyas. Vyasadeva Pailo attains this in his nam samadhi, in his the word samadhi. So samadhi in the names is complete absorption, meditation. Those are weak words. Complete. I don't know what the good word for samadhi, but in his complete samadhi on nam, this tattva, Vyasadeva attained this tattva. He understood this truth. And Bhagavate Bhakti Yoga Korila Prakash. And Korila Prakash, he manifested, he revealed Bhakti Yoga within the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavate Bhakti Yoga Korila Prakash. Okay, so now we've identified, well, now we know what our misfortune is, how I came into this condition, why I have this misfortune, and the remedy that Vyasadeva gave us to destroy this misfortune, these anarthas. But what are the anarthas specifically? Okay, we know that how we got these anarthas, and we know in a very general sense what the misfortune is. But now I want to know more clearly, what are all the different kinds of anarthas? Anartha means misfortune, anartha, and it can also mean without value. It's just useless things that are blocking us from attaining perfection. These are all the unwanted things, anarthas. Because artha means fortune or wealth, and un is no, not. It's like misfortune or not valuable, no wealth. It's useless. Okay, so the four types of anarthas: Swarup Brahm, Asat Trishna, Aparad, Hriday Dorbalyam. I think yeah, and then all these four are further divided into four. And then so we've gone over that many times. Now we come to the methods to the main ways to remove these anarthas. Like yeah, yeah, the main ways: Nam Sankirtan, taking shelter of Guru, and engaging in bhakti yoga, from which Gyan and Vairagya are automatically produced. That's what these next three verses are. So the first verse, Nam Sankirtan. These are like the three main methods. So apana sangsritam ghoram, having fallen into this ghastly material existence, the samsritam, ghora means ghastly. When we chant feeling completely vivasha, completely hopeless, when it's grinan means when it's taken, when it's chanted. Then thereafter, then tata, then sadhya vimucheta, then sadhya means very quickly, instantly, one is liberated. By chanting that name, yan nam, that name, yad, which bibheti swayam bhayam, which fear personified, swayam means personified himself, fear, bibheti is afraid. He's afraid of that. So if even fear personified is afraid of Krishna, who is non-different from his name, then what do we have to be fearful about? Even fear personified is fearful of Krishna himself. So if we take shelter of that, then there's no better way to become fearless. Ghora sangsar puri Krishna nam loy, having fallen into this ghastly sangsar. That person, Krishna nam loy, who takes Krishna nam, who chants Krishna's name, sadhya, instantly, mukta hoy, he becomes liberated. Ar boy by boy. That Krishna nam, which fears, boy by boy, fears. That's what it says. Okay. And now ending with that fear itself is afraid of the name. How come I'm afraid? Well, the next verse from Srimad Bhagavatam says, Bhayam Dvitīya-abhiniveshata syad. Bhayam, fear syad arises when abhiniveshata, when we become absorbed in Dvitīya, things unrelated to Krishna. It means a second thing, another thing other than Krishna. And Ishad apetasya, we turn away. Apetasya means of he who turned away from Isha. And Viparya asmriti means he's completely forgotten. Why because tanmayayato, by Maya, due to this material illusion. But those who are Buddha, those who are intelligent, abhajet tang, they worship tang, him, that Supreme Lord, this Isha. Bhaktya, through bhakti. And it says aikya, through exclusive bhakti, one-pointed devotion to Isha. And those intelligent people, they Guru Deva Tatma. They see Guru as the Devata, as the Supreme Lord, and Atma, as the dearmost person to their very selves, almost like your very self. It's that close to Sri Guru. So Guru Deva Tatma. So then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna chari jiva koilo anya bhinivesh. Having given up Krishna, the jiva has become absorbed in anya, in other things. Therefore, tar viparyaya smriti arpesh. That's why he has this forgetfulness and this suffering. He forgets his position, forgets that his identity, his nature of being Krishna Das, and he suffers. Klesh. So Sadguru Ashray Kori, having taken shelter of Sadguru, Krishna Kripa Ashe, and with hopes of and in hopes of attaining Krishna's mercy, Ananya Bhajana Kore, he engages in Ananya Bhajan. That means no Anya, there's no other, it's completely fixed, one pointed. So Ananya Bhajana Kore engages in Ananya Bhajan, and Jai Krishna Pashe, and he goes to Krishna. He goes near Krishna. Okay, so Nam Sankirtan, taking shelter of Sri Guru and worshipping Krishna one pointedly. And now bhakti, this is just bhakti in general. Like the characteristics of bhakti yoga are described in Srimad Bhagavatam 1st canto, 2nd chapter, verses 12 and 7. This is the verse that I wanted to look up and I never got around to it. Let me see if I could quickly find it. Do you mind if I just look quickly in this? I'm just going to see if I can find it because I didn't really understand everything. I didn't get around to looking at it on my own. I just want to see the word shruta. Shruta, if it refers to shrutis or if it refers just to hearing in this translation. Sorry, guys. This. I need to look at this more slowly and carefully because I'm not getting it just now. Anyhow, we'll just read the translation here for now, and eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to explain it better. But yeah, that person, those munis who are endowed with Shraddha, and they're endowed with Shraddha, and they are also endowed with Gyan and Vairagya. They see the soul of all souls through bhakti, which is received through Shruta, through hearing. And hearing what? The Shrutis, hearing the Vedas. Anyways, this is my speculation translation right now. So those who engage, prayojita, who engage in bhakti yoga to Vasudeva, Bhagavati, the supreme personality of Godhead Vasudev, then janayati, then very quickly, ashu means very quickly, vairagyam, this renunciation is janayati, is produced, cha, and jnanam, and this jnana is produced, ashu, very quickly, yad ahaitukam, and without any cause, like it happens ahaitukam, it happens without any other cause, just through bhakti yoga. These are just automatic, causeless byproducts. This vairagya and gyan, this renunciation and knowledge. So there's no need to endeavor separately to become renounced or to gain knowledge. Just engage in bhakti and the natural byproducts. Very quickly, easily, this vairagya and gyan will arise. So these are the three ways to nullify the anarthas that are described. Nam, taking shelter of Sri Guru, and engaging in hearing the shrutis, hearing the scriptures from the mouths of sadhus, and engaging in bhakti. Then very quickly, vairagya and gyan. So, okay, now the next verse is from the Chatushlokī of Bhagavatam, and it it mentions that there are two ways. The one who's inquisitive to know the true nature of the self, Atma Tattva, they inquire through direct, anvaya, and indirect, vyatirik, means of deliberation about that object which is fully eternal and is everywhere, sarvatra. I'm also not so clear on the meaning of this verse, but anyways, that's what I'm. Anyways, yeah. Again, we'll go over it again at some point, hopefully. When I'm on the train, also tomorrow I'm going to be on the train to Vrindavan, and I'll have plenty of time to look through this Bhajana-rahasya. So, and then probably I'll become more clear on things. Okay. So, anartha nashir jatna duito prakar. So endeavors for anartha nash, for destroying anarthas, duito prakar. They are of two types. There's the method, mukhete, in the method of anvay, direct method, and vyatirik, the indirect method. So by the direct method, the anvay mukha, there's topics, there are the rules regarding on the topic of bhajan. Okay, so we have so many rules regarding how to perform bhajan, so many instructions. And vyatirik, the indirect method, is to nisheda, the prohibitions, nanashaye. And I still haven't really figured out how to translate nanashaye, but um, prohibitions that have taken shelter of many things. Oh God, no. Like, anyways, whatever. All the different things that are prohibited. All the let's say all things that are unfavorable, nished, they're prohibitions. And so this is the introduction to this next section which we started. There's anvay vyatirek. Anvay means the direct things which are connected to Krishna. And so that refers to all the rules regarding bhajan, all the things favorable for bhajan. And then there's vyatirek, which means indirect. It's not connected to Krishna. These are all the things that are unfavorable that we must avoid. And so anvay is the do's, vyatirek's the don'ts. And so all these next verses are going to be do's and don'ts. Vachu Begum, here's don'ts. The next is, what is it? Atyahara, that's another don't. And then the next one, Tadati, this is a do. Like that. All these verses are categorized by anvay or vyatirek, do's or don'ts. So we've already gone through some of these, so I'll just go through them quickly. So so these are the six urges, the six vegas. There's vacha veg, the urge of speech, manasakrodha veg, the urges of the mind and anger. There's jiva veg, the urge of the tongue, and there's udara and upasta veg, the urges of the belly and genitals. So etan vegan, all these urges. Yo vishaheta dhira, that sober person who can tolerate these urges. Vishaheta means to tolerate. Then sarvam apimam prithivim shashishat. Sarvam, the entire world, Prithvi, can can become shishyas from that person. They can become disciples of that person. That person can instruct the entire world. All persons may become disciples of such a self-controlled person. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he goes through all these six urges and he says, Bahu jatne nitya sab kori bedaman. That person who, with great endeavor, Bahu jatne, who nitya, who always, all these urges, kori bedaman, who always subdues these urges, he engages in nirjan Radha Krishna bhajan. He engages in bhajan of Krishna nirjane, in a secluded place, secretly, not for show, but quietly, secretly, in a secluded place, he engages in Radha Krishna bhajan. But if you aren't controlling these senses and then you try to do nirjan bhajan, then all it is hypocrisy. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada wrote an entire song on this topic, a very long song. Dushtaman tumi kiser Vaishnav. Oh, Ghanasham Prabhu. Yes, did you want to say something or did you accidentally unmute yourself? Okay, no problem. All right, so now we come to, okay, so that's the first verse of Upadeshamrita, now the second verse of Upadeshamrita. These are the 6 things by which Shadabir, by these 6, bhakti vinashati. Bhakti is vinashati, is destroyed. Bhakti is destroyed by atyahara. Atyahara means ati ahar, too much food for any of the for all of the senses. So if you're over collecting through the eyes, through the ears, through the mouth, through the nose, just wanting your senses wanting too much, wanting things that aren't necessary. So over collecting through any of the senses. And then prayas means endeavors that are opposed to bhakti. And then prajalpa, engaging in mundane talk. Niyama agraha or niyama agraha, which means not accepting the rules. Agraha means not accepting the rules that you ought to accept. Or niyama agraha, or being overzealous to follow rules that are beyond my qualification or that are opposed to bhakti, or like that. And then janasanga, to associate with just ordinary people, materialistic people. And lolyam, that means greed to accept worthless opinions of others, different doctrines and things, or also greed of any of the senses. So by these 6, bhakti is destroyed. Hoi bhakti banga. And now the 6 kinds of association that nourish bhakti are described in the fourth verse of Upadeshamrita. These are the ways that we deal with devotees. So the loving exchanges between devotees. These are the 6 Shadvidam. These 6 types of interactions is Priti Lakshanam, indicates love, real love. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that, he says in his Upadeshamrita Kirtan, he says, Ihate, no, what does he say? Bhaktir Pran, right? Something like that. I just said it yesterday and I forgot. What is it? But anyways, Bhakti or Pran. These 6 loving exchanges is the Pran, is the very life of Bhakti. If you're not engaging with in these loving exchanges with devotees, then whatever Bhakti, there won't be any life for Bhakti. This is what gives life to Bhakti. Okay. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, he goes through the 6 things. So there's Adan, that means giving. Pradhan means accepting things. Prite, with love. Gura Alapan, that means conversing in confidential ways, different realizations you have, different in all the different things regarding your spiritual life and bhajan. If you share that with a devotee that you trust, with you know, and then ahar bhojan. Interesting. It just says ahar and then bhojan. So giving food, like feeding Vaishnavas and eating what they give us. So these are the 6 types of sangha, of association with devotees. Sadhur sahit sange bhakti vriddhi hoye. So when we are in the company of sadhus, then bhakti vriddhi hoye, then bhakti is increases. But abhakta asatsange bhakti hoy koy. But if we are in the company, if we're in the bad company, in the asat sangha of non-devotees, then bhakti hoy koy. Bhakti is diminished. So, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, let's look at that kirtan because it's such a beautiful kirtan. He says that I've engaged in these 6 kinds of dealings with non-devotees, and therefore, let's see what he says. Let me just find Upadesh Amrita. Just finding where it's been laid out. It'll be in done. Okay, sorry. Upadesh Amrita here, laid out. Where's Upadesh? There's Upadesh Amrita. Okay. Okay, let's look at this song. It's such a beautiful song. Oops. Let me just change this to there. Okay. So the dati pratigranati, the dati, giving devotees, pratigranati, accepting what they give, guyam akyati, revealing to them confidential matters concerning one's bhajan, and prichati, inquiring from them, and then bhunkte, honoring their food remnants, and bhojayate, and feeding them. These are the 6 symptoms of love among devotees. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Shankar Lakshan e choi hoy. These are the 6 characteristics of association in which ihate, in which bhaktir pran, in which lies the life of bhakti. This is the life of bhakti. And he says, tattva na bhujiye, not comprehending this tattva, this essential truth, and having engaged jnane, knowingly or agyane, or unknowingly, having engaged in all these with asate, with those who are asat, non-devotees, Eshab Korea, bhakti harainu, I have lost all my bhakti, and sangsari hoinu, and I've become a sangsari, a materialist. Sudure rohile hari. Therefore, O Hari, you rohile, you have remained sudure, very far away. When I respect the devotees of Sri Krishna in accordance with these types of association, so Krishna Bhakta Jane e Sangha Lakhane, Adar Koribo Jabe, Jabe means when I respect, honor devotees, Adar Koribo, the devotees, the devotees of Krishna, Krishna Bhakta Jane e Sangha Lakshane, with these types of association, then Bhakti Mahadevi, she will Amar Hriday Asane Boshibe Tabe. Then she will Boshibe, she will sit on the asan, on the seat of Amar Hriday, of my heart. Now, shunning the company of both those who are attached to women and those who are non-devotees, when will I have the perpetual association of your devotees, O Hari? Yeah. Joshit Sangi Jan, Krishna Bhakta Ar, Dunhu Sangha Parihari. Having given up the association, the Sangha of Dunhu, of both Joshit Sangi. So that Joshit Sangi means those who associate with women. Doesn't actually mean women. Joshit means women, and Sangi are those who associate with women. So, and when it means associate, it means because it means in a like in an unnecessary lusty way, like they laughing and joking and enjoying the company of women, like that. So those who are like that, and of course, this whenever the word woman comes up in this context, it's always understood to be the opposite sex, right? So for women, men; for men, women. Um, so those who associate with those who are sangi, who are attached to women, and who are Krishna abhakta, who are non-devotees of Krishna, having given up the association of these 2 people, tava bhakta jan sangha anukan. Kabe va hoibe hari. When will that be that I am anukshan, I am constantly in the sangha of tava bhakta jan, of your devotees, O Hari? So that's the song Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote on this verse. Did we go through this one yet? I don't think so. So yeah, okay, I think this is where we left off. So yeah, the 6 kinds of association that nourish bhakti are described in the 4th verse of Shri Upadeshamrita. Dadati pratigunati gunyam akyati prichati bhunkte bhujayate chaiva shadvidam pritilakshanam. Okay, so we already went through the Bengali here. Now let's read the Bhajana-rahasya vritti. This is a commentary of my Srila Gurudev. This text describes the visible symptoms of the affection that nourishes devotion, or in other words, affection for pure devotees. Bhakti manifests by associating with Sri Bhagavan's devotees. But one should be careful to associate only with pure devotees. One should never keep the company of and reciprocate with those who are gross sense enjoyers, those who desire liberation, or those who wants to enjoy the fruits of their actions. Bhakti will be destroyed by the fault of associating with them. One should also not hear anything from them about the confidential aspects of bhakti, and one should not accept food that has been touched by them. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila 6-278 confirms this. Vishayir anna khaile malin hoy man hoyle nahe Krishner smaran. So Vishayir anna khaile. Khaile means when one eats, or if one eats, the anna, the food of Vishayis, of materialists, then malin hoy man. Then the mind, the man, becomes malin hoy. It becomes contaminated. And malin man hoyle, if one's mind, or when one's mind becomes contaminated, malin, nahe Krishner smaran, then there's no remembrance of Krishna. It's impossible to think of Krishna when our mind becomes malin. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, when one eats food offered by a materialistic man, one's mind becomes contaminated. And when the mind is contaminated, one is unable to think of Krishna properly. On the other hand, loving exchanges with devotees who are like-minded, more advanced than oneself, and affectionate to oneself, swajatya snigdashaya, enhance one's devotion. Right? That's in the 64 Angas of Bhakti, one of the first ones, I think within the first group of 10, I can't remember which number it is, maybe 5 or something, but it's Swajatya Snigdashaya Sadhu Sangha. What is it? Anyways, it means to associate with those who are more advanced, who are Swajatiya, who are the same mood, same kind of like-minded. They have the same kind of aspiration in their service to Krishna. And Snigda, and they are affectionate to oneself. They're filled with affection for you. We want the association of those devotees. Like-minded, filled with affection, and more advanced. Those 3 things. Okay, so now here's in this song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that we just that we just went through, Harihe Dana Pratigraha Mitta Gupta Katha Bhakshana Bhojana Dan. So he mentioned at the end that having given up the association of both Yosit Sangis, those who are attached to women, and Krishna Abhakta. Oh, when will I have the constant association with your devotees? Oh, Hari. So, so in this verse, he goes through these 2, Yosit Sangi and Krishna Bhakta. He quotes this verse from the Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natak. So in the Sri Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natak 888, Sriman Mahaprabhu has prohibited one from even seeing a sense enjoyer or a woman. Shouldn't even see them. Where's the word see? One second. Just making this go back here. Oh, sandarshanam. Yeah, so one should not even glimpse at such a person. Okay, so let's see. Um, Niskinchanasya bhagavad bhajanonmukasya. Of those who are niskinchan, who are renunciates, they're possessionless, like renunciates, and bhagavad bhajanonmukasya, and of those who are unmuk, who are they're directed towards Bhagavad bhajan. Um, they're devoted to Bhagavad bhajan. They are Jigam Ishwar means they are desiring parang param. They're desiring to cross over to the other side of the ocean of material existence. Param param. Bhavasagarasya, of the ocean of bhava, of material existence. So they desire to cross over to the other side of material existence. Bhavasagarasya. So for those people, sandarshanam, even having, even looking at Vishayinam, and Yoshitam. So Vishayinam means material sense enjoyers, and Yoshitam means ladies or the opposite sex. Ha, hanta, hanta. We remember we came across this word hanta before. Hanta is just an exclamation, like, oh, alas. And ha also means alas. So, ha, hanta, hanta. Oh, alas, alas. Visha bhakshanato api asadhu. So, um, so having the sight or having darshan of Vishais and Yoshitam, oh, alas, alas, it is more asadhu. It is more, what's the word? More, how do you translate oh, asadhu? It's more dangerous, but it's worse. Anyways, let's just say asadu. It's worse than even drinking poison. Bhakshana means to drink, to eat, and vish means poison. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu greatly lamented, saying, Alas, for a renunciant who is devoted to Bhagavad Bhajan and who desires to cross the ocean of material existence, um, it is worse to see sense enjoyers and women. It is worse to see sense enjoyers and women than it is to drink poison. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in this Bengali verse here. He says, Nishkinchana bhajana unmukha jai jan bhava sindhu utirna hoite jarman. Okay, so those renunciates or those niskinchan, those um, who are jai jan, those people who are renounced or possessionless, and they are focused on bhajan unmukh, whose whose minds are who are delivered from the Bhava Sindhu. For them, Vishay Milan. So for them, meeting with Vishais, um with what's like enjoyers, sense enjoyers, are and Yoshit Sammilane, and meeting intimately with Yoshit, with the ladies or the opposite sex, Visha Panapeksha Tar Viruddha Ghatan. That for them, that's a more virud, more a more what's virud is like um detrimental or against. It's a more detrimental ghatan occurrence than apeksha means then vishapan, then drinking poison. It's interesting that he says sammilane. So for Vishais means associating with sense enjoyers, and for Yoshit he says sammilane, intimate meeting with ladies. So I think it means that doesn't mean that we completely can't associate with the opposite sex, but we shouldn't associate with them intimately. Sammilan. That's how I'm understanding it, at least. Okay, let's read the Bhajana-rahasya vritti. So persons who desire to cross the ocean of material existence, as well as renunciants intent on Bhagavad Bhajan, should avoid those who are attached to sense enjoyment and the association of women. The company of people in these two categories is more fearsome than drinking poison. Srila Raghunath Das understood Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hint, and thereafter he refused to accept the money of his father, the money that his father had sent him, understanding that it was more auspicious to accept alms. Sriman Mahaprabhu abandoned Chota Haridas for life because he associated with a woman. Therefore, in Prem Vivarta, Jagadananda Pandit says, he says, Jadi chaho pranay rakhite gorangir sange sonne, Chota Haridaser kata thake jeno mane. If you want to associate with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you must always remember the incident of Chota Haridas and how he was rejected by the Lord. And it says pranay rakite. If you want to keep love, if you want to have love for Goranga in the company of Goranga, if you want to have, yeah, keep love for Goranga, then always remember Chota Haridas's kata, that kata, that the narration of Chota Haridas, or the incident of Chota Haridas. Take Jenomani. Okay, so now what time is it? Oh, it's 8 o'clock already. All right, so we will end here. This song is so beautiful. I'm sorry, the song based on this verse is one of my go-to songs. Anytime I ever feel like I've made an offense to a Vaishnav, there's a song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur called Niradharmagata Janavishalile Pankapena Drishta Hoy. We'll look at that song tomorrow. But yeah, it is forbidden to judge a transcendental Vaishnava from a material viewpoint. And we'll go over this verse. Drishtai Swabhava Janatar Vapu Shastra Doshar. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Swabhav Janita ar Vapu Doshe Khane Anadar Nahi Koro Shuddha Bhakta Jani. So at any moment, when we see Swabhav Janita arising from their nature or due to faults in their body. So Vaishnav, a pure Vaishnav may seem to get unnecessarily angry. Like, why is he getting so angry? Or we might see some defects on his body, like getting sick or being not having energy, being seemingly lethargic or sleeping, like that. So we see any swabhav or vapu. When we says uh, do not disregard Shuddha devotees in this way. It's like the panka, the mud and the foam and all these things in the Ganga. But the chinmayatva, the transcendence of the Ganga, lopanahe, doesn't disappear. Sarva Shastra Bole, all scriptures say this. So there's a beautiful song that we'll go through tomorrow on this, and we'll read the commentary. And then what comes after this is Pratishta and Kapatata and Kutinati, these two verses from Manashiksha. And what comes after that? And then the 10 offenses to the holy name. And then after that, false renunciation, and what's next? Niyamagraha. There's a verse just for that. Interesting. Oh, this is a great verse. One should always remember Vishnu and never forget him. All other rules and prohibitions are subservient to these two principles. Everything that we do in our spiritual life is for those two reasons, to always remember Vishnu and never forget him. That's the purpose of everything that we do. So we should always know why we're doing everything. And then do not endeavor to perform activities such as atoning for sins through karma and gyan. Interesting. Okay. Anyhow, these are the verses that we'll be going through. All right. So, Dandavat Pranams, everybody who's joined. Ghanasham Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Chatamai Mataji, Rukmini Didi, Sarveshwari Mataji, and I can't see YouTube and Facebook. Sorry, I can't see Facebook, unfortunately. Maybe Sajan Maharaj is there. He's been joining a lot of the programs. So Dandavat Pranams Maharaj, if you're there. and yeah, so many other devotees, Sharmaji and all that. And I see here Bilva Mangal Prabhu and Shama Didi and Vidyalalasa Didi, Patita Pavani Didi, Ganga Mataji, Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, all those other devotees, Dandavat Pranams, and also pranams to all devotees watching in the future, Haribol, like Shachi Devi, Jayadeva Prabhu, Revati Didi, Krishna Rose, Manjari Didi, Haribol. All right, so okay, I'll just do a short Maha Mantra for any of those who need to go, and then we'll do our Chaturmasya program after that. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaurari Bo. Okay, so now we're going through this. One second. Am I sharing my screen? I'm not, am I? One second. Okay. Mm. And if anybody's going now, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you for joining. See you tomorrow. Okay. Ashtayam-sādhana. So now we're going through the Dvitīya-yāma-sādhana. Pratakaliya Bhajan, 6 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. approximately. Oops. Okay. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smarane nakala etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaiva midrishamiha janina nuraga. We all know the meaning of that verse now. So, aneka loke ravancha aneka prakara. Kripate korilo anek namer prachar. This is from the last chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, Anek loker vancha anek prakar. The desires of um of the anek lok, of the many people, of the countless innumerable living entities are aneka prakar. They are many types, unlimited, infinite varieties. Kripate, out of compassion, out of mercy. Korilo anek namer prachar. Krishna has done prachar, he has propagated his many names. Prachar korilo means he propagated anek nam, his many names. Kaite shuite jata tata namaloy, kaldesh niyam nahi sarva siddhi hoy. So, um, whether one is kaite, whether one is eating or shuite is sleeping, jata tata, in any kind of situation or condition, nam loy, when that person chants, there's no niyam, there's no restrictions of kal, of what place you are in, sorry, desh means place, or time, kal, or any kinds of restrictions. Yet, even though it's so easy, we can do it in any situation, all circumstances, sarva siddhi hoy, it gives all perfection. All perfection arises from chanting that name, Nam Loy. So, Sarva Shakti Nami Dila, Koriya Vibhag. So Krishna has separate, Vibhag means to separate, right? Having separated, and I don't understand that totally though. But anyways, having separated and Dila means given all his Shaktis, all Shakti, Nami, within the name. But still, Amar Durdaiva, my great misfortune, is that in these names in which Krishna has placed all his Shakti in it, nahi anurag, I have no anurag. I have no attachment to them. Now the song from Gitavali by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Toho daya sagar taraite prani namayane katua shikaoliani sakala shakati de name tohara grahane rakhilo nahi kala vichara Shri Nama Chintamani Tohari Samana Vishve Bilaoli Karuna Nidana Tua Daya Aichana Paramayudara Atishai Mandanath Bhaga Hamara Nahi Janamalo Name Anuraga Mora Bhakati Vinora Chite Dukhe Vibhor Bhakati Vinora Chitta Dukhe Vibhor. Lord, Krishna mercy, to deliver living beings, you have brought thought to your innumerable holy names. You have invested your full potency in your holy names, and have made no restrictions regarding time or place. The touchstone of Srinam is equal to you. You have distributed this treasure house of mercy throughout the entire creation. Such is your supremely magnanimous compassion, O Lord. But my luck is extremely poor. My anurag, my intense affection for attachment for Sri Nam has never awakened. Thus, the heart of Bhakti Vinod is overcome with sorrow. And now, these are the last verses of Bhajana-rahasya, chapter 2. This Dvitīya-yāma-sādhana. Ekanta bhaktir matra kirtana smaran anya parve ruchi nahi hoy pravartan. A one-pointed devotee engages only in kirtan and remembrance of Hari. He has no relish, no ruchi for engaging in other topics, for involving himself. Pravartan means to involve himself, to engage in anya parve, in other sections, other topics. Ruchi nahi hoy. He has no ruchi for engaging in that. Oh, hoy pravartan goes together, actually. Anyways, whatever. So now he served, okay. Bhavir sahita hoy Krishna san swarasiki bhav krame hoy uddipan. So he engages in service to Krishna with bhav, bhavir sahit. And gradually, this swarasiki bhav, this spontaneous devotional mood, hoy udipan, arises gradually, krame. Ekanta bhaktir kriya mudra ragodita tatapi sheshab nahe vidhi viparita. So although the actions and expressions of a one-pointed devotee arise from this rag udita, all the kriya and mudra, all the expressions and all the actions, kriya, and all the expressions of this ekanta bhakta, of this one-pointed devotee, even though it arises from rag, this attention attachment, tatapi, still, sheshab nahe vidhi viparita, still all these kriya and mudras, all these actions and expressions, nahe, are not vidhi viparita. They are not opposed to scriptural injunctions. They're not opposed to vidhi. Lots of times people think that, oh, I'm just, raganuga, and it means no rules and regulations. But here, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says clearly that sheshab nahe vidhi viparita. It's not against the vidhis, the rules and regulations of scripture. Even if one gives up everything else, it is extremely difficult to renounce the desire for name and fame. Sarvatag korileo, even if one gives up everything else, chara sukatin, to give up is very difficult. Sukatin. To give up what? Pratishtasha, the desire, asha for pratishtasha, the desire to give up, tyage, jatna paibe praveen. Yeah, one who is praveen, who is mature, who is experienced, they will have paibe, they'll make great endeavors to give up this desire for pratishtha. They make an active effort and carefully, also jatana also means carefully, to give up this pratishtha. They're very careful to not let this pratishtha grow. We see an example of the most famous example, the standard example that's always given is of Madhavendra Puri. As soon as the second he found out about that the pujari, that Kirchhood Gopinath saved. Oh, Ghanshyam Prabhu, did you want to say something? I think you unmuted by accident then. But yeah, the second he found out that Kirchhood Gopinath saved this cure for him, he knew the next morning that when people find out about this, everybody's going to glorify me. So Jatna Korea, he made an endeavor to stay to free himself from this pratishtha. So immediately he didn't even go to the temple room to offer pranam. He just, from right there where he was in the marketplace, he offered pranam from a distance. Usually you'd think if the Lord, like Gopinath, saved cure for you, and stole cure for you, then you'd probably normally like want to have darshan of Gopinath before. But he was so afraid from Pratishtha that he didn't go to see Gopinath. He's like right there from the marketplace. He offered pranam from far away and took off before anybody woke up. That's the kind of endeavor he made to stay away from Pratishtha. So what kinds of endeavors are we making? We actually want Pratishtha, where we don't make any endeavors. We make endeavors to get Pratishtha, what to speak of, to give it up. But no, we have to make an active effort to give up this Pratishtha. Prabhate gobir ratre madhyane sandhyaya anartha chariyalo namer ashray. Prabhate at dawn, gobir ratre in the dead of night, madhyane at midday, and sandhyaya at dusk. All times of the day, we must make an effort to anartha charya, having given up all anarthas, lo namir ashray. We should take shelter of Srinam. So we should always take shelter of Srinam, giving up all these anarthas. If we are just chanting without making an effort to give up these anarthas, then we're not going to get very far. We'll chant forever and not make any real progress. So, e rupe kirtana smarana jai kore, Krishna kripa hoy shigra anayase tare. So whoever engages in kirtan and smaran, e rupe, in this way, jai kore, that person who does that, smaran and kirtan in this way, Krishna kripa hoy shigra. Krishna's mercy will, he'll attain Krishna's mercy shigra, very quickly, and anayase tare, and effortlessly, very easily, tare, he will be delivered. He'll cross the ocean of material existence. Shraddha kori, and now this is giving the process from Shraddha to Sadhusanga, the Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, and then finally Nishta. And the next chapter, the next yam, the Dvitīya-yāma, is Nishta. So this is like the segue. So how do we get to the next chapter, the third yam, sadhan? By first Shraddha Koriya, with Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, in the association of sadhus. That person who Krishna Namloy, who chants Krishna's name, then anartha shakalajaya, all the anarthas go away. They flee away, all his anarthas. And nishta upajaya, and then this nishta, this unwavering, firm determination, this resolve in one's spiritual life, upajaya, arises. So now, prata kale nitya lila koribe chintan, chintite bhaver hoibe sadhan. So prata kale, at dawn, one should koribe chintan, you should meditate on the nitya lila. Chintite, and meditating in this way, contemplating in this way on this nitya lila, bhaver hoibe sadhan. One's bhav will hoibe sadhan, will be accomplished, affected, accomplished, established, says here, huh? The means for cultivating and establishing. It's the means for cultivating and establishing one's bhav. This meditation is a sadhan. No, I don't know. I need to figure, like, I'll make this translation better. I'll have to think about it a bit, though. Okay, so now we come to the lila for this time of the day, pratakal, this early morning. Um, Radham snata vibhushitam vrajapayahutam sakibhi prage targe he vihitana pakarachanam krishnavasheshashanam krishnang buddham avaptadhenu sadhanam nirvyuda godohanam susnatam krita bhojanam sahacharais tang chatta tang chashraye. I take shelter of her, Tang, and of him, Tong. Who? Shri Radha. She snata, she is bathed, and vibhushitam, she is adorned, and she is ahutam, she is called by Vrajapa, the queen of Vraja. Vrajapaya means by Vrajapa, by the queen of Vraj, the protector of Vraj. Sakibi, through the Sakis. Prage, and in the early morning, this time, 6:30 to 8. Or was it 6 to 8:30? I think it's 6 to 8:30. And then Tadgehe, in her home, Tadgehe, Vihitana Pakarachanam. She makes various items. She cooks many foods. And Vihita means like arranges many different food items to be cooked. And Krishna Avashesha Ashanam. She eats Krishna's Avashesh, Krishna's remnants. So that's what's happening on Srimati Radhika's side at this time. And now what's happening on Krishna's side? Krishnam Buddham. He awakens. Avapta Dhenu Sadhanam. He goes to the residence, to the living place, the dwelling of the dhenus, of the cows. Avapta means he reaches there. And then Nirvyuda Go Dohanam. Go Dohan means to milk the cows. And Nirvyuda means he completes the milking of the cows. He finishes, he accomplishes the milking of the cows. He finishes milking the cows. And Susnatam, and then he's very nicely bathed. And Kritta Bhojanam, he eats Sahacharai with his friends. So I take shelter of her and I take shelter of him. That's a translation. And now Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song on this verse. And the thing that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur adds in here that's not in the Sanskrit is Madhya Madhya Duhar Milan. From time to time, during this early morning, sometimes Radha and Krishna, they meet. Radha snata vibhushita Shri Yashoda samahuta Shaki sange tar grihe gamana Tata Pakavirachana Shri Krishna Vasheshashana Madhe Madhe Duhara Milana Krishna Nitra Parihari Goshte Godohana Kori Snana Shana Sahachara Sange E lila chinta koro, nama preme gara gara, prate bhakta jana sange range. So delighting, range means delighting in the sangha, in the sangha of the devotees, prate, in this early morning time. E lila chinta koro, remember this pastime, contemplate this pastime, meditate on this pastime. Gara Gara means completely overwhelmed in Nam Prem, in love for the name. E lila chinta ar koro sankirtan, achire paibe tume bhava uddipana. So remember this lila, e lila chinta, ar koro sankirtan, and engage in sankirtan. Achire, within no time, very quickly. Paibe tumi bhav udipan. The awakening of bhav you'll attain the awakening of bhav. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Shri Param Gurudev ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Jai Shri Bhajana-rahasya ki Jai, Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai, Jai Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Gosai Pad ki Jai, His Chaitanya Charitamrita and Govinda Lilamrita ki Jai, Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai, Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams. Everybody there, Ganesham Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Chatamai Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, all the devotees. I've already went through everybody's name twice. I'm not going to go through it all over again. But yeah, many devotees. I see 10 devotees now on YouTube. And I'm sure there's some other devotees on Facebook. I can't see Facebook right now. But wow, so many devotees. Thank you so much for joining. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before we end our program for today? All right. So see you all tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow will be our last reading for a couple days. Then I'll be traveling to Vrindavan. And yeah, next time I see you, I'll be in Vrindavan. No. I'm just going to shut up. Haribol. See you tomorrow. Okay. Jai Shri